Hi, I'm Brian. Kettleson, make yourself a cup of tea. Now today I want to talk about Henry Cavill, and more specifically this article here, which says that wants to play Captain Britain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now the article I'm reading from is from Comic Book, and the article says, Henry Cavill would like to play the Captain Britain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Cavill is known for playing Superman, the Man of Steel, in the DC Extended Universe. However, with his time as the last son of Krypton currently on hold as Warner Bros. Explores other iterations of the character, including Val-Zod and another take on Clark Kent. Cavill admits that there's at least one Marvel Comics character he'd be happy to portray on the big screen. Cavill is himself British and would love to update Brian Braddock, Marvel's Captain Britain, for audiences the way the MCU has already done with Captain America. I'm never going to say a Marvel character that's already being played by someone else, Cavill tells The Hollywood Reporter, when asked about potentially joining the MCU, because everyone's doing such an amazing job. However, I have the internet and I have seen the various rumours about Captain Britain, and that would be loads of fun to do a cool, modernised version of that. Like the way they modernised Captain America. There's something fun about that, and I do love being British. While nothing official is known to be in the works, there have been rumblings about Captain Britain joining the MCU at various times and different forms. Avengers Endgame may have included a Captain Britain Easter egg, the directors remain coy about it. Kevin Feige confirmed that there's at least been internal discussion about Captain Britain's role in the Marvel Universe. One previous rumour from 2018 suggested that a Captain Britain and Black Knight movie might be in the planning, which is particularly interesting since Kit Harington made his debut as Dwayne Whitman, the Black Knight in Marvel's Eternals movie. In the comics, Captain Britain and the Black Knight served together in MI-13, a British government task force formed to defend the nation against supernatural and extraterrestrial threats. So with Kit Harington making his debut as Dave Whitman in the Eternals movie, then if they are planning on a Black Knight and Captain Marvel movie, now would be the time to do it. And I, for one, would be up for Henry Cavill playing the part. Now, I don't know much about Captain Britain. It wasn't a comic series I used to read. It never interested me as a child. But Henry Cavill was fantastic as Superman. He wasn't as good as Christopher Reeves, in my opinion, but he was fantastic in the role, and I would love to see him back as Superman if possible. But if he wants to play Captain Britain, I think Marvel should give him a chance and see how he makes the role. But let's have a look at the rest of the article. However, even if Marvel does have plans for Captain Britain, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're looking at Brian Braddock. In the comics, Brian's sister, Betsy Braddock, recently became Captain Britain, with Brian becoming Captain Avalon instead. In What If, the MCU introduced an alternative reality Peggy Carter, who received the Super Soldier Serum and became Captain Carter, donning some of the regulatory association with Captain Britain. However, even if Marvel did cast Brian Braddock, Cavill would have some competition. Some other actors have also expressed interest in playing the role. Chris Claremont and Herb Trimpe created Captain Britain for Marvel Comics, originally intended as a hero who would exclusively appear in Marvel's British productions. Brian eventually became a member of the X-Men spin-off Team Excalibur, operating within the United Kingdom. Captain Britain's adventures often deal with Arthurian legend, magic and the multiverse, which sounds right up the Richard Starr's alley. And it says there that it's dealt with the multiverse, which if they do want to bring him in, they are starting to delve into the multiverse now, so it would be a good point to bring in Captain Britain. But looking at this part of the article, I think this would be what to go for with the way Marvel is doing films in Phase 4. I don't think they would bring in Brian Braddock. I think it would be his sister Betsy Braddock to add to the roster of female and diverse characters which they are bringing in to the MCU. I mean, the MCU's track record for Phase 4 at the minute hasn't been great. I believe all three films, Black Widow, Shang-Chi and Eternals, have underperformed to how Marvel were hoping them to. I don't believe Black Widow broke even. I think Shang-Chi just about broke even. And I know Marvel's Eternals is still playing, so we'll see how that plays out. However, I also know that the Eternals is having trouble. It won't go over to China, and Marvel is censoring it for some Middle Eastern countries. But I do think that Henry Cavill would make a good Captain Britain if he does come to the MCU. As I said, I've never read the Captain Britain storylines, so I would go into it with absolutely fresh eyes and not comparing it to the comic books. I mean, I did that with the Thor films. I never read any of the Thor comic books as a kid before Thor came out, and I enjoyed the Thor films mostly. Thor 1 I think is fantastic. I think it is the best Thor film they made, and I wasn't a huge fan of Ragnarok. It was a good film, just wasn't a massive fan, and I think Thor 2 is the worst film the MCU's put out. So that doesn't mean that Captain Britain would be a great success if they do bring him over. I think it would appeal a lot to people that know the comic books and I think it would appeal to a British audience like myself. But Henry Cavill is a great actor. He was fantastic as Superman in DC. Man of Steel was an okay film, but I mean, I'm going to say it. I loved Batman vs Superman. I thought that was a fantastic film. And the Snyder cut of the Justice League is just amazing. And Henry Cavill's performance in all three films can't be knocked. He was superb in them. And he is fantastic in The Witcher, which I'm looking forward to Series 2 coming out a lot soon. But what do you guys think? If Marvel do go ahead with Captain Britain, would you like to see Henry Cavill in the role? Would you like to see somebody else in the role? Or would you like to see his sister in the role? Brian Braddock's sister, not Henry Cavill's. I don't think he's got a sister. And also, do you think Marvel would put Henry Cavill in the role? Or do you think it is more likely at the moment that they would go with Betsy Braddock? Do let me know in the comments below. And that's all from me. I'm off to make a fresh cup of tea.